Good morning. My name is Tyler Robichaud. I'm the president of the Fitchburg Police Relief Association. Today is a very special day in the Fitchburg Police Department as officers pause to honor all of our retired brothers and sisters in service and remember two of our own who were killed in the line of duty serving the citizens of Fitchburg. As an annual event, Fitchburg Police Officers Memorial Day takes place on the third Sunday of May during the week designated as National Police Week. Throughout the country, communities just like ours participate in events to honor those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. Here in Fitchburg, during this event, our leaders and members of the community would typically be joining us at Police Memorial Park. Fitchburg police officers would arrive by foot, marching down from our headquarters on Elm Street to Depot Square in a sea of blue. We would stand beside each other and listen to speeches from our local leaders. The names of more than 100 of our retired officers, whose names are internally engraved on our memorial, would be read. We would pay tribute to the Nikitas and Bell families, surviving families of our two officers who were killed in the line of duty. Patrolman Peter M. Nikitas, end of watch, Sunday, August 27th, 1978, and Patrolman Kenneth B. Bell, end of watch, Thursday, October 18th, 1962. To these families, on behalf of the Fitchburg Police Department, we continue to offer our support to you. But for the first time in the 56-year history of Police Memorial Sunday, we are not able to join together as a community due to the pandemic. Rather, the Fitchburg Police Department can only share this important day with our community through the generosity of our friends at Fitchburg Access Television. As president of the Fitchburg Police Association, I am truly honored to work alongside the hardworking and dedicated police officers of this department. They serve our community under all circumstances, including during these very difficult and challenging times. We appreciate the tokens of gratitude, whether from signs along our city streets or cheers as our police convoy joined our city's first responders a few weeks ago as we toured the city to honor our healthcare workers. We see this and we thank you. While this Police Memorial Sunday is not how we ever imagined it would be, we remain committed to honoring those who came before us. These officers continue to leave a legacy that each and every one of us emulates when we proudly pin our badge. At this time, our most senior patrol officer and most junior patrol officer will place a wreath at Police Memorial Park to serve as a reminder that our officers will never be forgotten.
Okay. Detail, reset. Detail, order.
At this time, I'd like to introduce the Chief Martineau of the Fitchburg Police Department.
Thank you, President Robichaud. Good morning, and welcome to Fitchburg Police Department's Memorial Park. This is a place where we gather as police officers to reflect on the past and to pay tribute to those no longer with us. Today's ceremony will be like none other. However, the message remains the same: gone but never forgotten. I have been a Fitchburg police officer for 32 years and have never seen nor imagined a scenario like a global pandemic we are now dealing with. Although only 8 people are physically gathered here today, I would be remiss in not thanking those most certainly would have joined us in person today, if permitted. In a short time, you will hear from our strongest advocate and our friend, Mayor Stephen DiNatale.
As we all adhere to social distancing and protective measures due to the COVID-19 health emergency, it is my pleasure to join you remotely to take part in Fitchburg's 2020 National Peace Officer Memorial Day observance. Although our current social restrictions prohibit a large community gathering this year, it does not lessen our responsibility as grateful citizens to honor our dedicated public servants and proud members of Fitchburg's law enforcement community. As we honor, we remember and pay homage to those law enforcement officers who made the supreme sacrifice in the line of duty, who have sacrificed so much in the name of public safety. We recognize these fallen heroes and pay a special tribute to their surviving family members. Every day when one of our police officers puts on their badge and uniform, they stand on the front lines in the fight against crime and violence, often risking their own lives to save the lives of others, to keep our fellow citizens safe, and to preserve our quality of life. Today, as we pay our respects to our fallen heroes, let us thank all Fitchburg police officers, those retired and those that have passed on, for serving and protecting this city with courage and dedication. I want to particularly thank Chief Martineau for his leadership. I have great confidence in the men and women who serve on the Fitchburg Police Department. As mayor, I can assure you that the courage and heroic actions of Fitchburg's finest and bravest will never be forgotten. On behalf of the city of Fitchburg, I want to express a heartfelt thank you to Fitchburg's Police Department and all our officers who serve with distinction. May Fitchburg's Police Memorial Park on Main Street always remain an enduring promise to remember our law enforcement officers' perseverance and pledge to security, peace, and justice for all. On behalf of the city of Fitchburg, I thank you for your fearless actions, your sacrifice, and your dedication to your work. Thank you. May God bless you, this nation, and God bless the great city of Fitchburg.
Thank you, Mayor, for your unwavering support of your entire police department. Also, thank you to our elected officials who join our celebration year after year. We thank you as well, and we thank you for your leadership and commitment to the Fitchburg Police Department. Because of guidelines set forth in the governor's order, the majority of our police department is unable to participate in today's event. The men and women of the Fitchburg Police Department are nothing short of the finest in our profession. It is said that during times of crisis, those in law enforcement are at their best. During these last 10 weeks, I have witnessed nothing but the best in law enforcement has to offer, and that is your Fitchburg Police Department. While others were told to stay home, shelter in place, work remotely from home, our police officers have reported for duty without question and have faced an invisible enemy every time they report for duty. It is my honor to serve with each of you. I want to recognize our retired police officers who, if allowed, would be in attendance today. Each one of us, including myself, owe a debt of gratitude to our predecessors for blazing the way, teaching us lessons, important traditions, and making certain that we know the true meaning of being a Fitchburg police officer. Thank you for all your contributions throughout the years of service. As I stand here today, complying with the state of emergency and the crowd gathering restrictions, I cannot help reflect on past memorial celebrations. As a 22-year-old brand new police officer, I stood at attention here, listened to the names of men I never had the occasion to meet, The one certainty I discovered that first year was a sense of pride in belonging to something larger than myself. As the years passed, and they sure have passed quickly, I began to hear the names echoed of officers who I had worked with. These were not only names, these were husbands, these were fathers, they were sons, they were grandfathers, but most importantly, they were my brothers. Each was unique in his own way, each with their own stories. We all understand there are few certainties in our profession. However, I want to make certain, no matter what the crisis we face, the men and women of the Fitchburg Police Department will gather during the week dedicated to our profession and remember the names etched on the wall behind me. In 1962, President John F. Kennedy signed a proclamation that designated May 15th as Police Officers Memorial Day, and the week in which that date falls is known as Police Week. There will be no crowds gathered in our nation's capital to honor the numerous police officers who lost their life this past year, including recently those lost due to the COVID-19 virus. Sadly, the Fitchburg Police Department has two members etched on our national wall. Officer Kenneth Bell, end of watch, 18 October 1962, and Officer Peter Nikitas, end of watch, 27 August 1978. Our nation is under attack from an invisible enemy. Our nation's first responders are the ones leading the charge in this fight. Thank you for putting yourself before others for the common good. This is what makes our chosen profession one to be proud of. At this time, I would like to call back President Robichaud as we begin the calling of the names on the wall behind me.
Alton LaPrade, Carlisle Taylor, Clarence Rawson, Daniel McKenna, Thomas Godley, Earl Grant, Edmund Godin, Edward White Sr., Ernest Norrie, Francis Shea, Harry Crawford, Herbert Hassett, John Devens, John Moran, John O'Donnell, John Quigley, Joseph Darcy, Joseph Murray, Joseph Senny, Lawrence Fry, Leota Gannett, Malcolm McKenzie. Otto Gorison, Ralph Williams, Thomas Saru, William Morris, Kenneth Bell, James Brooks, Antonio Grillo, Andrew Quinn, Carl Kimmelainen, Henry Carbino, James Sullivan, Antonio Feltry, Alfred Bishop, Lester Stout, Walter Ford, Emery LaPrade, Erich Schreiber, Joseph Rivard, Peter Nikitas, Norman Young, Philip Hannon, Bernard Fontaine, Vincent Testagrossa, Michael Courtney, Bernard Lawless, Walter Worthy, Norman DeJarnis, Francis May, James O'Neill, Herbert Lynch, William Godin Jr., Christos Sardellis, Frederick Gallagher, Timothy Kittredge, Kenneth Gates Sr., Roger Wentworth, Anthony Banchin, Robert Main, George Lawrence, Jacob Palo, Paul Mang, Charles Roddy, Bruce Martinez, Arthur DiTomaso, Norman Bergrad, Emery Robichaud. At this time, I'll introduce Chief Martineau to finish the roll call.
George Shepard Sr., Joseph Kalazik, Gustav Haschig, Bernard Keenan, Joseph Ramondelli, Ryan Karen, Kenneth Maynard, Walter Lanson, Wilfred Olette, Thomas Tassi, Charles Swift, Paul Keating, David Caputi, Paul Lamaglio, William Kerrigan, Ronald Hamill, Edward White, David Barnacle, Gilly Renard, Leo Lorian, Louis Scarzelli, Emil Moylanen, Francis Laprade, Alphonse Mayros, Joseph Bramante, Francis Roddy, Richard Lambert, David Latti, George Miller, William Carriga, Dominic Ricci, Stephen Longley, Henry DiTomaso, Charles Pappas, Edward Gallant Jr., Walter C. Blanchard, Richard F. Miller, Donald F. Richards Jr., Henry Kendall, Vincent Farrell, Joseph Carboni, George Pelletier, John O'Leary, Paul Iacey. That concludes the roll call of the men listed on the wall behind me. In closing, I would like to thank Fitchburg Access Television for making this event possible here today. As I stated earlier, this is a Sunday that we have never seen before. And for this opportunity to bring it to our family and friends virtually means the world to the Fitchburg Police Department. I would like to thank the men and women who came out today to support us, all following the guidelines. Our senior most officer present, Detective Paul McNamara, who recently retired as of this Friday after serving the city for 32 years. Thank you, Paul. Our junior patrolman present with Detective McNamara, Patrolman Mackey. Also present today, Patrolman Stacy, our President, Patrolman Robichaud, Patrol Officer Shabbat, Patrolman Sanchez, Lieutenant Howe, and as you saw, we were accompanied by our Fitchburg Police Department motorcade and the men and women who have worked the night shift and the day shift to honor the names behind us. From the bottom of my heart, I thank each and every one of them. I am proud to stand in front of them as their chief, and I'm so proud of this Fitchburg Police Department. Thank you, and God bless.